Hey, everybody. I'm Dr. Seth, psychologist, and everybody who watches my YouTube channel knows that mindset is one of the things that I think is most important to us in life. What our mindset is, how positive our mindset is, and a lot of times how we need to shift our mindset to adapt or deal with situations that we are dealing with in life. So, today in this video, I'm going to talk about something very specific, a part of our day, morning routines that really matter, and especially matter when you might be dealing with a difficult time in life. Maybe you're going through a hard time, or you're dealing with a setback. When you are dealing with a setback or just having a really tough time in life, how you treat the morning experience, how you operate when you first wake up, what things you do, what you commit to, how you spend those first 15 or 30 minutes can make an enormous difference in how you feel the rest of the day. Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit more about this, and we are going to begin with some research. Why? Because research is always helpful to kind of anchor us. We don't just need always someone's clinical opinions. I think it's really important to back it up with research. So, a study in the Journal of Positive Psychology 2017 found that people who engage in intentional morning activities like meditation or exercise have, wait for it, higher life satisfaction and lower rates of depression, higher life satisfaction. Okay. And who doesn't want to feel more satisfied in this life? Life is hard enough as it is. Let's all try to do what we can to feel a little bit healthier, to feel a little bit more satisfied in really good ways. All right. Let's talk about exercise first. Now, there's two groups of people. People watching this video who may already exercise in the morning, and that's not something that they need to start doing. And then another group of people who don't, okay? Let's take the group of people first who don't exercise, okay? Especially when you are going through a difficult time, when you are dealing with a setback. Maybe you just had a serious relationship end, or you got fired or laid off from a job, any number of difficult setbacks that you're dealing with, okay? If you're not somebody who is a natural exerciser, and certainly in the morning, well, I believe in life, half of the success in life is just about having a plan. And you can set a plan to say, well, I will do this. I will incorporate exercise morning activity for 1 week, just 1 week, and I'll see how it works out. Now, it doesn't mean that you need to start training for a marathon. Too often, people immediately go from 0 to 60 miles an hour in 5 seconds and think, well, now I've got to all of a sudden, become some triathlete. If somebody wants me to work out, no, you can try something as simple as a 5-minute walk. But morning exercise, that is something that can really help to set your mood, give you a mood boost. And also, it is you taking action. You see yourself when you engage in some of these healthy behaviors, doing things that are healthy and positive. We see ourselves when we do these things, and that can help to cause a mental click where we say, wow, I actually feel good about myself. I actually did something good for myself already this morning. Maybe you haven't even been up a full hour and you've already done something positive. We see ourselves when we do positive things. We get a mood boost, and guess what? One positive action propels what? The next positive action. You engage in one positive behavior, you know exactly what you're more likely to do next. Another positive behavior. It has a positive cascading effect. Okay. So, for those of you who are not natural exercises in the morning, add something to your morning routine. Exercise 5, 10, 15 minutes. Let's say you're somebody who doesn't feel like going for a walk and you like to watch a morning show in the morning. Well, what about getting an exercise bike and, doing 5 minutes on the exercise bike in the morning, while you watch that show. There are all different types of exercise that you can engage in. All right. So that's the first thing. Now, for people who are already exercises in the morning, just in general, and again, especially when you're going through a difficult time or dealing with a setback, a part of a plan to deal with your circumstances can be to inject something new and different into your morning routine. So let's say you normally are a runner or a walker. Well, you know what? You say to yourself, for the next week or two, I am going to find a pool and swim some laps. I haven't swum laps in months or years. Or I am going to insert any other number of physical activities. Okay. Do you have a jump rope? When was the last time you did push ups? All right. Make it fun. But here's the thing, you want to spice it up and add something new. Okay. Add some new stimulation, some positive, healthy exercise to your morning routine. This is a part of your plan that's saying, I'm not just sitting around waiting for my life to get better. I'm actually taking little actions, and I'm not wallowing, or in mental health, what we would call ruminating. I am not ruminating in how I feel. I am not stewing in my feelings or getting caught in self pity. Why my life is so difficult, how no one can understand. Okay. Your physical exercise is proof to you. It is evidence that you can see that morning that you are doing something that's an example of problem solving. You see a problem the way you feel. Maybe you're going through a difficult time or a setback, and you are trying to use a positive solution, and by trial and error, figure out how to feel better. Now, the next thing I want to talk about in a morning routine that research highlighted is meditation. Here's the thing. Some people are natural meditators, and we all know some people are not. And you know what? I include myself in that. Sometimes when I try to meditate, it can feel like pulling teeth to get me into that mental space. So, you know what I have to do to trick myself, and maybe some of you can relate to this, is I can't set a goal for myself where I'm going to meditate for 30 minutes. All right. But you know what? I can set a goal where I meditate for 5 minutes. I can download any number of popular meditation apps and have someone guide me through a 5 minute meditation. A lot of people, especially single parents, my heart always goes out to single parents because I really think they are the world's busiest people, especially single working parents. Not everybody has time to go to the gym 2 hours, drive there, drive back, and work out. But people can find 5 minutes, especially if it makes the difference of making them feel saner, more satisfied, more capable of getting through the day with a positive mindset. That is ultimately the goal that we all have to keep in mind. No matter how difficult things may be in any given moment, we want to hold on to, as much as possible, a positive mindset, because that is what will help us weather the inevitable and frequent storms in life. Okay. So, meditation too is something that you can try. If you're not somebody, again, that wants a long meditation, try a small one. Now, another point that I want to make about meditation is that some people find they don't like a meditation in the true traditional sense of the word, in which they're sitting still and, they may look from afar. Is that a Buddhist monk? Not everybody is going to be comfortable doing that. Some people like to do a walking meditation. A walking meditation where they focus on their breathing. They focus on all of the muscles in their body, their face, around their eyes, their forehead, relaxing. They focus on mindfully watching what's around, leaves on the trees, things in nature, noticing the air on their face, grounding themselves with their senses. Okay. That is another option that you have. But these are some morning routines that can really help to boost your mindset, to boost your mood, especially when you are dealing with setbacks or difficult times. Now, the final thing that I want to bring up is also the simplest, and it's one of my favorites. I love Admiral McRaven's book, where Admiral McRaven talks about, you know what, folks, make your bed in the morning. Make your bed. And the idea behind this is starting the day with one task just completed. One task completed. That we see ourselves when we do something as simple as make our bed, we see ourselves taking on a task and completing it. We prepare ourselves for the rest of the day to say, what task is next? Let me complete my tasks. Let me be action oriented. Let me be productive. Let me be organized in my approach. When we are organized in our external world, when our bed is made, when we see ourselves exercising, taking good care of ourselves, practicing healthy actions, okay? When we see ourselves do that, our internal world feels more organized too. Internally. Why? Because we trust ourselves. When we engage in positive actions, we see ourselves engage in those positive actions and we trust ourselves because we say, you know what? Deep down, I have the capacity to take good care of myself. And not only do I have the capacity, I actually follow through with it. Even when I don't want to, even when it feels like work, even when it's inconvenient, even when sometimes it feels, again, like pulling teeth. In so many ways, we have the lives that we make for ourselves. I always tell people our lives will be partly as good as we work hard to make them. And a lot of that comes down to how much discipline are we willing to have? And discipline is something that takes work, daily work. And you know what? Let's all agree to start that work in the morning with good routines that set the tone for the rest of the day. And if you are lucky enough to be one of those people who already has certain good morning routines, you make your bed, no question about that. I've done it for years. Well, good for you. You're an exerciser in the morning? Okay. Well, when you go through a life setback or a difficult time, ask yourself, what new morning routine can I incorporate? Can I add? Can I try out? And that trial and error approach is a part of a positive mindset. All right. I hope this video has been helpful. If it has, you can check out some of my other videos here on my channel, Dr. Seth Psychologist. Have a good one, everybody.